आमकां जर कोणें विचारलें की ल्हानपणा आसतना की तुका कितें जावपाक जाय जाल्यार आमी ऑलवेज म्हणटा की आमकां सिंगर जावपाक जाय, एक्टर जावपाक जाय, आर्टिस्ट जावपाक जाय, सम करियर्स आमी आमच्या फुड्यान इमॅजीन करता. बट मोर ओवर ते करियर्स म्हणून आमकां खबर नासता. बट इट इज जस्ट अ शियर पॅशन दॅट इज वॉट वी वॉन्ट टू पर्स्यू. बट जशें आमी ग्रो जाता देन फॅमिली प्रेशर येता, सोशल प्रेशर येता आनी ताज्या नंतर आमकां कितें जावपाक जाय वी गो इन टू टिपिकल ट्रेडिशनल करियर्स. बरेचदा आमकां गायडन्स मेळना म्हणून आमी हें करता. बरेचदा आमकां आमची कॉलिंग खंय तरी आपयता आनी केन्ना तरी आमी जिंदगी फिर ना मिलेगी दोबारा टायप्स खंय तरी मुवीज पळयता आनी देन वी कम बॅक अगेन टू अ कॉलिंग. अशेंच कांयची एक स्टोरी, एक जर्नी आयज आमच्या बरोबर हांगासर आसा. आमच्या वांगडा आसा गेस्ट प्रिया दळवी.
हाय सर.
Happens to be a computer engineer, okay, practiced, but then again changed her career completely and went on to write a book. Now, all this thing, it's a very interesting story, I believe, and Priya will definitely share with us.
Sure.
Priya, म्हाका एक सांग, book आणि हेच्या फुडें आमी ते recognition तुका जे मेळ्ळें आनी ताचेर आमी definitely या. But म्हाका एक सांग, how was it growing up early, in your early days?
सो एज अ चायल्ड म्हणजे बारीकपणान सदांच एक बरोवपाची आवड आशिल्ली. म्हणजे स्कुलांनी जे स्टोरी रायटींग जाता, पोएट्री रायटींग, कितें बी जाता, एनी एक्टिविटीज रिलेटेड टू रायटींग आय वॉज अ पार्ट ऑफ इट. म्हणजे सदांच अशें प्रायजां घेवप वगैरे. पण दॅट टायम इट वॉज जस्ट लायक अ हॉबी. एक छंद म्हणून आसा तो हॉबी आसता. सो 10वी-12वी पर्यंत लेखन म्हणजे फक्त हॉबी आशिल्ली. केन्ना चिंतूंक नाशिल्ली की एक बूक बरयतलें आनी आय वूड क्वीट माय करियर बिकॉज ऑफ दीस. तशें केन्नाच जावं ना. मागीर इंजिनियरींग केलें 4 वर्सां. ताज्या मागीर पुणे आयलें जॉब करपाक. आतां थंय कशें आसा की कॉर्पोरेटांनी सॅटर्डे संडे ऑफ आसता. सो त्या टायमार तूं कितें करतलें, म्हणजे कितलें म्हणून भोंवतलें भायर अशें जातालें. सो भोंवप आनी मागीर अशें जालें की विच एवर प्लेस आय एम गोईंग टू आय विल कम बॅक होम एंड आय विल रायट अबावट इट. कित्याक बरोवप एक सदां हॉबी आशिल्ली आनी आतां न्यू टॉपीक मेळ्ळो की ट्रॅवलिंगाचेर बरोवप. So I started a blog and I started writing online. तर तशें करून करून मागीर I was very consistently writing about various things, about my experiences, about my travels, कितें बी केलें बरोवप आशिल्लें. आनी तातूंत मागीर म्हाका अशें जालें की वाय जस्ट लिमीट युअर सेल्फ टू ब्लॉगींग, कळ्ळें न्ही. सो थंयच्यान म्हाका एक आयडिया मेळ्ळी की आय शूड नाव स्विच गो बियॉन्ड ब्लॉगींग. दॅट्स हाव ब्लॉग टू अ बूक जर्नी स्टार्टेड. आनी ताज्या मागीर हांवें डिसायड केलें बूक बरोवपाक जाय आनी थंयच्यान इट स्टार्टेड.
Okay, you've given the gist of the entire story. म्हाका एक सांग, you were a computer engineer, you were working,
Correct.
then you quit.
Correct.
Okay. Now I understand completely, typically in India and more importantly even in Goa and especially with the place where you come from, it's scary, sakळे केरी.
करेक्ट.
चड अशें पॅशन फॉलो करप किंवा अशें एकदम ड्रास्टीक डिसिजन घेवप इतके म्हणजे आपले पेरेंट्स डेफिनेटली म्हणटा की तुज्या भितर हांवें इन्वेस्ट केला, त्याच्या नंतर देन यू चेंज युअर करियर. वॉज इट डिफिकल्ट, इजी, हाव वॉज?
Yes, it was very difficult. Even for now, at this period of time, my parents are not really fully convinced that, what the line I have chosen now.
But are they happy?
I am happy. I am not sure.
They will eventually.
Eventually they will. I hope so. So currently I am struggling and facing a lot of challenges, in this particular phase. But it was difficult to, not just parents, but also the colleagues and friends and all other people also.
What was the response? I mean, especially family, friends, or even your colleagues, when you told them.
Yeah.
How
So
was it?
they were like, it's like maybe it's young blood, because the managers and all, they were saying you are now young, don't do, maybe you get married and then, take a decision. अशे प्रत्येकाचे आपापले एक हें आसतालें. पूण म्हाका कशें दिसतालें की ना, बिकॉज नाव इट्स अ यंग ब्लड, आय हॅव टू टेक दीस डिसिजन नाव ओनली. बिकॉज मागीर फुडें जावन जातलें ना जातलें कोणाक खबर आसा. एंड सो आय वॉज वेरी मच एक्सायटेड अबाउट दीस डिसिजन एंड आय जस्ट put up my resignation and served notice period for 2 months, and in May, and then I was like completely out of it.
Okay. You've told की तुका बरोवपाक खूब आवडटालें आदी पासून.
हय.
ताज्या नंतर when you shifted to Pune, you started writing about your travel journeys, you wrote a blog. But did you ever think that you will write a full-fledged book which will get published? I don't want to say की ताज्या फाटली तुमची आयडिया कितें आसा, ताज्या ते आमी मागीर उलया. But did you ever think that I will end up writing maybe, so many words एक बारीक बरोवप.
Yeah. Not really. Like, frankly speaking, when I used to write like a blog of 2000 words, I would be like, wow, like euphoria, 2000 words हांवें बरयले. आणि लिटरली नाव आय हॅव कंप्लिटेड लायक 40,000चे बूक बरयला. सो ते एक वेगळेच कशें एक सक्सेस कशें दिसता स्वता खातीर अशें. पूण पयलीं केन्ना चिंतूंक नाशिल्लें बूक बरयतलें बी कितें अशें म्हणून. निदर आय वूड टेक रायटींग एज अ करियर. ते तर खूपच दूरचें आशिल्लें. But now it's like I'm happy with the decision of writing a book.
What about passion? Is the book that you wrote?
Correct.
Basically, what was the idea of writing this book?
Correct.
Especially selecting the subject की हा प्रकारच्या सब्जेक्टाचेर आपण book बरयतले. What was the idea? What was the concept?
So when I decided I should write a book, I started looking out for ideas. Okay. So now love story, obviously it was not in my mind, that because there are so many love story writers, so I don't wanted to go for that. Then I started out writing some fiction. Then I thought, no, maybe end of the day it's a fiction, Third thing was obviously non-fiction, because I thought I'll write something real. I'll pick up stories from the real world. आणि तांच्यापासून एक युथाक कितें एक इन्स्पिरेशन किंवा मार्गदर्शन मेळोंक शकता. सो आय वॉज बिहायंड दॅट. सो तशें हांव चिंतपाक लागलें. आनी एकदां कितें जालें, एक पुण्यान देर वॉज अ एल्युमनाय मीट नॅशनल लेवलचे आमच्या स्कुलाचे पुण्यान इव्हेंट जालो. आनी तातूंत एक बँड आशिल्लें. सो तातूंतले 2 जे मिडल सिंगर आशिल्ले, ताच्या भितर एक सिंगर तो सगळो एक बरो म्हणटालो, सिंगींग करतालो आनी सगळ्यांक इम्प्रेस करतालो. So I was also impressed. So after the event, I just met him and asked him की म्हणजे तुझे इव्हेंट बरो जालो, हे जालें अशें ताका अप्रिशिएट केलें. And that's while we were talking, I came to know that he is an engineer. Okay. And he has left his 6-year-old job, after working in a corporate. And now he's a full-time singer. So I was curious की म्हणजे ताची स्टोरी कशी आसतली, म्हणजे एक जॉब सोडप सवर्स. आणि दॅट टायम आय वॉज ऑल्सो वर्किंग. आनी ताची स्टोरी कितें आसतली, ताका कितले चॅलेंजीस फेस करचे पडले आसतले. सो आय जस्ट इंटरव्यूड फॉर अ ब्लॉग. आतां म्हटल्यार हाचेरूय एक ब्लॉग बरोवपाचो, कित्याक बिफोर दॅट आय वॉज जस्ट रायटींग ऑन ट्रॅवल. आतां म्हटलें आय शूड चेंज माय टॉपीक. तर म्हटलें कोणाक तरी घेवया. मग ताका हांवें धरलो आनी जस्ट वी सॅट इन अ कॅफे एंड आय आस्क्ड हिम ऑल द क्वेश्चन्स एंड आय जस्ट रेकॉर्डेड इन माय फोन. आय वेंट बॅक होम आनी सगळे कॉन्वर्सेशन वाचले हांवें, आयकले परत. आनी म्हटलें आतां हाचेर एक स्टोरी तयार करया ताची, अँड विथ द हेल्प ऑफ दॅट स्टोरी आय थॉट वॉट आर द चॅलेंजीस ऑब्वियसली, अँड इट वॉज कमिंग अप विथ सम सोल्युशन्स ऑटोमॅटिकली. सो हाचे हे चॅलेंज आसा, सो त्या चल्यान हें केलें ताच्या खातीर. सो अशे वेगवेगळे चॅलेंजीस म्हाका मेळपाक लागले. आनी आय सेड की maybe now that I have interviewed one person, okay, so this was the beginning actually. So then it strike me that आता I should meet more people same अशेच इंजिनियर्स धरया आनी तांचे इंटरव्यूज घेवया आनी तांचे कितें चॅलेंजीस आशिल्ले. सो ताच्या मागीर ती म्हाजी एक आयडिया जाली, तो सब्जेक्ट जालो फॉर माय बूक. सो बेसिकली I covered like 4 challenges which I came to know. So first is like how do you convince your parents, म्हणजे आवय बापायक कशें समजोवपाचें क्रिएटीव करियरान वचपाचें. दुसरें जाल्यार वॉट इफ यू फेल, फेलियराचो सदांच भंय आसता. तिसरें हाऊ डू यू कन्विन्स द सोसायटी, दॅट वॉज वन. अँड हाऊ डू यू अर्न मनी of from the creative career. Yeah, so these 4 challenges I targeted, and with the help of these real stories I tried to touch upon these challenges and provide some solutions, some practical solutions.
You said you selected one individual jaka tuje performance पहिले आणि was he a Goan?
No, it was in Pune actually.
Okay, it was in Pune.
It was in Pune.
So even when you thought of writing a book, then how did you go about identifying individual ki this individual I should go meet him and then make a story out of it? Did you have a criteria of going ahead with?
So I had a criteria actually. So I was searching for those people who were in their 20s only. I don't wanted to take someone who has done something after 30, because till that time you get more mature and you obviously tend to do things that you want to do. But 20s was a पिरियड आसता न्हू, तातूंत म्हणजे युथांनी खरें एक डिसिजन घेवपाक जाय. सो आय वॉज ऑलवेज इन अ हंट की ज्यो कोणी जे 20सान आसा तांकांच घेवपाचें. दॅट वॉज फर्स्ट डिसिजन. सेकंडली आय नेवर टार्गेटेड की म्हाका ह्याच प्लेसींतलो इंजिनियर जाय किंवा गोंयचो जाय किंवा पुण्याचो जाय. बट वेन आय स्टार्टेड आयडेंटिफायंग इंजिनियर्स इट वॉज व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट, बिकॉज असे खूप रेअर मेळटात इंजिनियर्स न्ही. सो स्टार्टींग 2-3 जाणांक अप्रोच केले. सो दे वर नॉट व्हेरी मच कम्फर्टेबल शेअरिंग देअर स्टोरीज. सो आणि प्लस बिकॉज इट वॉज माय फर्स्ट बुक, सो तांकां बी मातसो डावट आयलो की हांव कशें बरयतलें किंवा म्हाजी इन्फॉर्मेशन खंय सारकें ऑथेंटीक आसा की ना अशें करतलें म्हणून तांच्यान म्हाका रिजेक्ट केलें. सो दॅट वॉज लायक आय बिकम लिटल नर्वस की आतां कितें जातलें. सो जेन्ना हांवें कोणाक फ्रेंड्सांक सांगलें की म्हाजी अशी आयडिया आसा and I'm looking for some candidates, so do you have anyone like this, so just ping me. So तातून मागीर एकट्यान म्हाका सांगिल्लें, ताचें नांव चैतन्य मल्लीक. so he is a computer engineer, now he is a farmer, he is into farming. so ताच्या बद्दल कोणें तरी सांगलें. सो आनी तो he turned out to be from GEC. he was my junior in fact. तर हांवें ताका मेसेज केलें अशें अशें आसा. सो पयलीं हांवें फेसबूक प्रोफायल पयली ताचेर तांणी सगळें बरयल्लें वर्क एज अ फार्मर एंड सगळें. सो मागीर कळ्ळें की बाबा हो खरेंच आसा म्हणून. सो देन आय टॉक टू हिम आनी ताका विचारलें अशें अशें. तो तांणी सगळें सांगलें आपल्या बद्दल. देन आय शेड्यूल एन इंटरव्यू विथ हिम आनी दॅट वॉज द फर्स्ट पर्सन. मागीर सेकेंड थर्ड अशें करून करून आय स्टार्टेड कीप ऑन हंटींग दीस पीपल आनी एक एक करून लकीली सगळे GECचेच मेळ्ळे म्हाका. सो आय वॉज लायक इट वॉज नेवर इन मायंड की आय वूड टेक अप GEC ओनली. नाव पीपल आस्क मी बिकॉज यू आर अ GEC, यू हॅव टेकन GEC, which is not actually a case because I couldn't find anyone and whoever I could find I would just take up and because they were like खरेंच तांच्यांनी आपले फील्ड सोडून कितें तरी the field which excited them, they were taking them. So yes,
Chaitanya is one name. Can you just run through us?
One is Anuj Prabhu, he's an actor. Then one is Jyoti Pandey, she's a fashion designer. She has a JAV fashion studio in somewhere in Porvorim. Then Aditya Zamble is a national award filmmaker. Then Anish Sood, the DJ. Then Ashwini Krishna, she runs a social enterprise. Then the last one which I took was like Shikha Pandey. She is the cricketer,
part of the Indian team.
Yeah. She was the last one whom I took, and I was.
If I ask you randomly that out of all these people that you've named, खयची तुका journey तांची खूप अशी appealing दिसली, maybe even struggle असली किंवा typical filmy story असली की plus minus and all those things.
Correct.
Which would you?
So I personally liked Shikha Pandey's story because she has really gone through some real challenges. Obviously सगळे प्रत्येकाचे आपापले चॅलेंज असता पण ताणे जितक्या 3 वेळा ताका she was rejected and she was still म्हणजे ते पेशन्स धरून परसिवरन्स धरून ते रावले की बाबा ना आता मेळटले अँड शी वॉज कंटिन्युअसली ट्रायींग अँड वर्किंग ऑन हर स्किल्स प्लेईंग स्किल्स. तर ते जे सगळे पेशन्स आसा न्ही अँड शी इज लायक सो डावन टू अर्थ. म्हणजे म्हाका पयलीं लिटरली आय वॉज स्केर्ड. शी हॅड जस्ट कम फ्रॉम द वर्ल्ड कप सेमी फायनलान यू आर आउट नो. सो ताका हांवें फोन केलो. आय कॉल्ड हर फादर फर्स्ट अँड देन आय हॅपन टू टॉक टू हर. सो आय वॉज लिटरली नर्वस फ्रॉम इनसाइड दॅट आय एम इंटरव्यूइंग like such a big person and how would she take me and all that. But then now she was like very normal and just like any other girl. She was talking to me and I really liked her, like a huge respect for her. So
okay, what about Passion is the book that took you international. खूप जाणांक आपल्या वाठारांत सत्कार जाता, अप्रिशिएशन जाता, फेलिसिटेशन जाता, but this is one book that took you globally. That is second South Asian Youth Summit, which also says which happened at Colombo, Sri Lanka.
Yes, it happened.
Maka sang, first of all, whether you approached them, whether you got a call, whether you were recommended, how was it and what was your first reaction when you got a call?
So first reaction, obviously I was surprised. Like I never expected something like this would happen to me. तर एक टीचर आशिल्ले आमचे. सो तांच्यांनी म्हाका सांगलें की एक अशी समिती आसा इंटरनॅशनल यूथ कमिटी अँड दे आर हॅविंग दिस साऊथ एशियन यूथ समिट द सेकंड एडिशन. तर why don't we just apply? So I'm like, it's like South Asian Youth Summit, not even in India. So like what are the chances that I would get selected? तर ते म्हणलो you just do it, don't worry about it. And he knew my profile actually. So तांकां म्हाज्या बद्दल मातशें खबर आशिल्लें. So first thing was the book worked like greatly in my favor because it was youth oriented and over the months it was gaining good attention from youth actually. So book was one thing. And in the past, I was working with this NPO called Make a Difference. So where I was a volunteer teacher. So I would visit a orphanage like every Sunday, and I would teach them. Like
this is all in Pune.
Yeah, this was in Pune. Yeah, so because Saturday Sundays were off, so I would do this activity, and then I was a part of the fundraising activity also. So almost 6-7 months I was a part of this. Then after that also on and off I would work with some NGO, do some activity related to some social contribution. So all this actually added to my selection of this actually. So yeah, and the book was the primary reason, and all this my visits to orphanages and तर ते मातशें सोशल कॉन्ट्रिब्युशनान खंय तरी कितें तरी आशिल्लें म्हणून मागीर इट हेल्प मी.
अँड वन्स यू वर देर एकदा थंय पावले कोलंबोन जेन्ना तुमी बाकीचे पियर्सा वांगडा जेन्ना तुमी मेळ्ळे यू ऑल दिस पीपल ह्यूज डिग्नेटरीज दी एक्स्ट्रा वॅगन शो दॅट वॉज कशें फील असलो एक्सपिरियन्स ऑब्वियसली इट वॉज अ प्राऊड मुवमेंट फॉर यू एज वेल.
इट वॉज ओवरवेल्मिंग म्हळ्यार अशें इतले लोकांक कशें केन्ना पळोवंक नाशिल्लें. इनफॅक्ट वेन आय वॉज लायक आय गॉट अ चान्स टू स्पीक एक्चुअली. सो एवरी स्पीकर हॅज 10 minutes. ती 10 मिनटां सुद्दां लायक सगळ्या मदीं तुमकां उलोवपाक जाय. इट जस्ट नॉट लायक सार्क कंट्रीचे आशिल्ले, बियॉन्ड सार्क कंट्रीचे तातूंत स्विट्झर्लंड आशिल्ले, फिजी आशिल्ले, मॉरिशस आशिल्ले, आनी तांचे यूथ अँड स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्टर सगळे तांकां देवर लायक अ पॅनलिस्ट ते सगळे आशिल्ले. सो तांच्या समोर उलोवप आनी लायक इट वॉज अ डिफरंट एक्सपिरियन्स. सो दॅट वॉज देर लायक स्पिकिंगाक बरो प्लॅटफॉर्म मेळ्ळो. मागीर वेगवेगळे कंट्रीचे लोकांचे कल्चर आनी एक प्रत्येकाची एक वेगळी वेगळी कितें गोश्ट आसता सो त्यो गोश्टी शिकपाक मेळ्ळो. सो ऑल 3 days वॉज लायक empowering and overwhelming.
Okay, the 10-minute talk that you gave was based on what? What was the subject?
So everywhere I go, till now I've been talking about the same topic which my book is about. So I always talk about passion. बट जेन्ना हांवें पॅशन म्हणटा इट्स नॉट जस्ट अबावट म्हाका म्युजीक आयकपाक आवडटा म्हणून म्हाजें पॅशन म्युजीक अशें नासता एक्चुअली. सो आय ऑलवेज ट्राय टू शो दॅम द डिफरन्स बिटवीन फॅन्टॅसी अँड पॅशन.
सो इट इज लायक आय वॉन्ट टू डू इट अँड आय विल डू इट. ह्यूज डिफरन्स.
काइंड ऑफ तशें. सो आय विथ द हेल्प ऑफ अ स्टोरी आय ट्राय टू शो दिस पॉयंट दॅट देर इज अ thin line between fantasy and passion. So that was like in 10 minutes I covered that topic.
Okay, so it was nice. So just shifting the focus of your book, in today's time, the role of women basically has changed drastically. I wouldn't say 20 years back. I'm just saying even 5 years back or 3 years back. The kind of people, obviously you've mentioned Shikha Pandey is one of the protagonists in your book. Again, there are n number of people who work in across fields. Politics जावं, sports जावं, आणि खंयचे movies सुद्धा आजकाल women centric movies येतात.
Correct.
How do you see this, considerable change? I'm not saying gradual also. Considerable change. How do you see this particular phenomenon happening? Especially in country like India.
It's nice to see this change actually, but then I still feel that this change you can only see in the urban urban parts. Now I am I've been to Pune, so I see that the women there are different than other parts. Like if you go to other parts of Maharashtra, you will see that it is still intact. The way they are, they are the same they are. हांगा सुद्दां गोंयान पयलें जाल्यार रुरल एरियान जशी जी वुमन आसात न्ही सो ती तशीच आसात. आनी जी तुमी जी शहरांनी पळयता तीच चेंज जायत रावता. सो खंय डेवलपमेंट जाता थंय डेवलपमेंट जायत उरता आनी खंय जायना थंय जायत ना. सो दॅट इज लिटल सॅडनिंग पार्ट की द रोल ऑफ वुमन हॅज चेंज ओनली इन मे बी अर्बन पार्ट्स अँड नॉट मच इन टू द रुरल पार्ट.
Again, apart from that, now you have left the job. Okay.
Yeah.
You have completely focused into writing.
Yeah.
If I'm correct. Then you also do n number of other things also, like taking motivational lectures and stuff like that. हाज्या बद्दल मातशें सांग, because गोंयान खूब कमी पळयता आमी गोंयकार मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर दिवपाक. कित्याक आमचेर चडसो टर्म भायल्यांचो आसता, म्हणजे आउट ऑफ गोवांचो ना. गोवा इज लायक सुशेगाद बस आरामात अशा मानसिकता. सुशेगादचें म्हाजें डेफिनेशन वेगळें आसा, लोकांचें डेफिनेशन वेगळें. बट ह्या अशा सिच्युएशनान सुद्दां यू doing motivational speaking courses here. Have you done in Goa?
Yes, in schools I have done a lot over the year. So I never decided ki kenna ashe talks करतले बी अशें केन्ना डिसायड करूंक ना. So when I left my job it was solely because of writing. Okay, but then जेन्ना book मातशें फेमस जावपाक लागले तर लोकांक कळपाक लागलें. So I started getting कॉल्स फ्रॉम स्कूल्स. आतां कोणी प्रिंसिपल आपयताले की तूं यो स्कुलान मातशें एसेंब्लीन मातशें स्कूल भुरग्यां वांगडा उलय, आमच्या 10th क्लासच्या भुरग्यां वांगडा उलय, मातशें करियर टॉक दी. सो अशें जावपाक लागलें. आनी हांवें म्हटलें ओके हांव येता अशें म्हणून. सो वेन एवर आय यूज टू कम टू गोवा ऑन सॅटर्डे संडेज आय वूड विजीट स्कूल्स आनी अशें स्टार्ट केलें. सो 2-3 टॉक्स जाले आनी खंय ना खंय म्हाका अशें दिसपाक लागलें की मे बी कितें जें उलयता कितें जें तें नॉलेज शेअर करता समवेर दे आर गेटींग बेनिफिटेड आउट ऑफ दीस. So then I thought ki why not continue this. So I started getting more calls and I would personally also visit some college and ask them I am planning such a talk, so can I address your students. So अशें करून ते सगळे talks lectures सगळे चालू झाले. And eventually I evolved as a speaker, I would say. So I am not completely like a full thing, but yeah, gradually I'm trying to so it's like not I wouldn't say motivation as such. I try to have a interaction or
workshops kind of thing.
yeah kind of a thing.
But again, any other workshops apart from speaking or maybe interacting, are there something that you are planning?
Yes. So this year I am launching my first writing workshop in Goa. Actually this is the first time I'm doing this and I'm starting with Goa itself. So it is exclusively for newbies and aspiring writers who want to write a book, who are bloggers, and but they are new to it. They are not seasoned writers, but they are new to it. For them specifically, I am arranging this workshop, which is on 10th February. It's going to be a whole day workshop.
Okay. So, and what is it all about, basically?
It's about how to
write.
Yeah. It's everything about writing.
It can be anything, right from filmmaking to book, or very specific
it is like
to.
It would be like an all-in-one formula wherein you can write any kind of genre.
Okay.
It's not specific to story writing or book writing or article writing. It could be like for beginners. If I use this formula, I can write anything. So I have designed it that way. So it is like all-in-one formula, for beginners.
Okay, we are almost towards the end of the interview. Okay. But tell me one thing. From here on, post your book, post your all these initiatives जे तू करता आता, हांगाच्यान where do you see yourself evolving? I would say.
Very difficult to answer. But
you haven't made plans.
Obviously,
you take it as it
yeah,
happens.
but uncertainty.
Yeah.
So, because I have faced that the harder way, so I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. But somewhere down 5 years down the line, I see myself, as an influencer. I want to do work which will influence people, and same time even I am benefited out of it. So that's where I see myself.
Okay, and more importantly, all my viewers would be very much interested to know, having taken this risk of leaving your job, pursuing your dream, and obviously getting recognition, is there any regret that you feel ki na baba हे करपाक जायना असले पण मातशे पाशस काढूंक जाय असले? Everybody gets this gets into saturation mode, but I should have sailed it maybe अशें दिसता केन्ना?
अजून पर्यंत ना. Frankly, it's like 1 year I'm going to complete. So frankly केन्नाच अशें दिसूंक ना की हांवें जे डिसिजन घेतले ते चुकीचे घेतले. अजून तरी even your parents or family, friends,
they've evolved with the decision.
So they म्हणतात की ना तुवें you should go back to the job or whatever it is. So but somewhere till now at least I am not regretting my decision. I can't tell you about tomorrow, but today until now I don't regret. And I'm happy what I'm doing.
Okay, and you said in every story, every individual that you interviewed, there were 4 parts.
Yeah.
Obviously one n number of things, and failure.
Correct.
And then obviously doing a livelihood.
Correct.
You see yourself getting that livelihood from the career, the path that you have chosen, I believe.
Correct.
Okay. More importantly, आता all these people, when I start करताना म्हटलं लहान असताना आम्ही पडले सुद्धा नाही. आता आमकां आम्ही पळयनासले सायडीक आमकां कोण पळयता काय. पण आयज जेन्ना आमी खंयसरी पडटा किंवा खंयसरी आमी पयलीं पळयता की आमकां कोण पळयता काय. एंड देन वी आर सो कॉन्शियस. अशा सिच्युएशनान जेन्ना आमी एक डिसिजन घेता, ल्हानपणान आमी सगळे म्हणटा आमकां सुपरमॅन जावंक जाय आनी कोण कितें जावंक जाय. बट देन अगेन इट इज नॉट, मोर ओवर इट इज नॉट अ रियलिटी पार्ट ऑफ आवर कल्चर ऑर आवर लायफ. अशा सिच्युएशनान जो कोण आसा टुवर्ड्स चुजींग अ करियर ऑर इन द करियर, मे बी स्टडींग, or a person who is evolved like you, who has worked for 3-4 years and then he says it is saturation, I want to come out of it. अशा भुरग्यांक तुमचे एक कसलो एडवाइस जर कितें आसतलो तो कितें आसतलो?
I would say do what excites you but don't do it because someone else is telling you, or don't do it because because everyone is into entrepreneurship, you should become an entrepreneur. Don't do it because the whole world is doing it. Do it because you want it.
आय थिंक आयुश्यान कसलें डिसिजन हे कॅल्क्युलेटीव डिसिजन आसपाक जाय. बिझनस करता जाल्यार कॅल्क्युलेटीव रिस्क इवॅल्युएट करपाक जाय. आमकां बाकीचे पियर्स आमचे करता तशें आयज जर तुमी खंयसर शिकता आसात जाल्यार म्हाजो फ्रेंड सायन्स घेता म्हणून तुमी सायन्स घेवं नाका. तुमची खरी कॉलिंग मे बी आनी खंय तरी आसात, किंवा खंयच्या तरी कॉलेजीन तो वता म्हणून तुमी डिसिजन घेवं नाका. यू थिंक ओवर इट. आय थिंक इट शूड बी अ वायज डिसिजन. इफ यू डू दिस, आय थिंक यू विल नॉट एंड अप बिकमिंग लायक मे बी अज मे बी, की फुडें करियरान इन्वेस्ट करून 6 वर्सां काम करून देन यू थिंक दिस इज नॉट माय कप ऑफ टी, आय थिंक वी आर मेंट फॉर समथींग एल्स. दॅट शूड नॉट हॅपन. सो आय थिंक प्रत्येकाक म्हाका जशें तुवें एक बरो एडवायस दिलो, सगळ्यांक आमच्या कडच्यान तोच एडवायस आसतलो की वायजली करा आनी तुमचो करियर चूज करतना आनी कितें करता तें बरें करा. बिकॉज इफ यू डू वन पर्टिक्युलर थिंग परफेक्टली, आय थिंक देर इज नो पर्सन, no one can hold your hand. It's just there is the sky, you have to just fly. Priya, thank you very much for sharing this beautiful journey of yours, and we wish you all the best, not just with this book. Obviously this book is more concentrated on Goa, I would say more on GAC. I hope you come up with n number of books. I hope you come up with lot many motivational speaking lectures, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank
it
you.
was nice.
It was pleasure.
Yeah.